All right, we'll get it rolling. Introduce yourself.
My name is Frantz Massenat, 30 years old now. A lot of people around here know me as Lil Frantz, but I'm grown now, professional basketball player. I've been playing 9 years overseas. Went to Drexel University, graduated from Trenton Catholic. Also attended Incarnation School as a kid, and that's who I am. Yeah.
All right, you talked a little bit about Lil Frantz just now, so let's start there. Let's talk about Lil Frantz and his upbringing.
Yeah. I mean, around here, a lot of people know me for playing basketball, especially in my younger days. My dad always had me playing basketball up when I was a kid. So when I was 8, I would play, 13 to 15 ages, So being with the older guys, I kind of put my name out there, being one of the better younger guys playing with the older guys. And it just stuck with me. That's Lil Frantz, My dad, Big Frantz, he also played, but everybody know him around as a coach, as a father figure, as a person in the city. I like that everybody in the city say good things about him. So it's kind of an honor to be Lil Frantz. But yeah, that's me, Lil Frantz. I've been playing with the older kids. Now I'm one of the older kids.
Right.
So it feel good, it feel different, but it's cool.
I actually just heard a story. Someone was like, they just found out the whole time you was 4 years younger than them, but they did not know. Like when y'all was playing coming up, you was in middle school, they was in high school, but you was always around and you was always playing at that level. They was like, this kid's 4 years younger?
Yeah, that's probably the best decision my dad ever made for me, was for me to play up, because I had to adapt to the game so differently as a kid, as a smaller kid. I wasn't strong, but I had to learn how to play. So those friendships that I have with them is good too, because now I look at them as older guys and I get experience from them from life. Of course we talk basketball stories, but they older than me at the end of the day, and I respect it, and I always respected it. So to learn a little bit from them as things go on, I appreciate that happening so young in their life, and it come back to me now.
Okay. So it's no secret, we at the Martin House. We just did the developmental league over here. Let's talk about your influence over here as well, how this played a part in your development.
Mr. Donaldson played a big role in my whole development. Can't lie, he been opening in this gym for me since, 6, 7 years old. And
6, 7 years old?
Yeah, since 6, 7 years old. And I'm 30 years old now.
Choice. Great spot.
Right. So me and my dad would come in, go to school, get home from school, do my homework, come here. Just be me and him upstairs in the gym, and the gym looked the same exact way from when I was a kid. That's why I like being upstairs. But also they used to, I don't know if they have it now, but they used to have a little weight room downstairs too. So we'll do the little weights, and then we'll go upstairs and just work out together. My dad may not have had all the right answers, but he was somebody that believed in me, you know what I mean? And I think we all needed that. But I've always been coming to this gym working out. I've always been playing in the Martin House League. There's been so much talent that came through this league. And it was just it was something in the city that everyone just loved to play in. Coaches loved to coach in it. The competition was always here. And just embraced being here.
Were you playing up in the Martin House too?
Yeah, yep. The only time I never played up was when I played at Moody Park. Coach Smitty didn't allow me to play up. And my dad was they kind of came, they made a little bet with each other. If I were to have played this game and beat his team, I could play up. If not, then I got to join them. So I ended up playing with Coach Smitty, and I've been playing I was playing my age. So
How was it?
At Moody Park.
How was it playing with your age after you done played
Yeah.
against teenagers?
Right. It was just different. It was just so. Actually, playing up around here prepared me for playing my age against the better competition around the country.
Oh, right.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
because up north is different from where we at here. Down south is different from where we are. The East Coast and West Coast is different. But when you get the best talent from around the state or all these different states, being able to play up here in my city prepared me to play against the same age group of the better kids in other cities. But around here, once I kind of got to my age, it was quiet. It was quiet. Like it's always good competition around here. Always is. Especially when I was coming up playing, especially my age. You know what I mean? But it's just that I was just on a different kind of mission since young already.
Yeah.
But I still love the game, and I grew up with friends playing this game, and yeah, it worked out.
So you never had like personal motivation to like prove anybody wrong?
Yeah, I've always had the underdog tag on me, you know, but it wasn't with anybody around here. It was more like against the kids up north, you know, against the kids in my class. That's it. Like, why do they get them looks that I'm not getting? And like, I'm always winning, you get what I'm saying? So that's always kind of been the motivation. But now at this point, it's kind of me. I'm my own motivation a little bit.
So one thing you mentioned, you know, also like after you start to, you know, dominate your area, the importance of going to go see what the other areas is like and seeing they great players up there. How was that experience? And how important is that, I should say?
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out, like, when was my first time doing it. But, I mean, first time doing it's a little intimidating. You know what I mean? You go play in New York against people you never played against before. They play a different way, play with a lot of energy, they play with a lot of grit. You know what I mean? It's a different style of basketball. But once you get comfortable and you can play the way you play at home and in those different states, it become easier. The game become easier. You can actually beat a player before even playing them because you kind of know where they from and how they play. You know what I mean? You know their instincts a little bit. But that comes with loving the game. Like, you study that, you understand that, you keep being around it. But it's very important to go out and experience playing against other players from different states, because just because you're the best one around here don't mean you even top 10 somewhere else. You know what I mean? But you got to go grab it. You got to go get it. Like, that's the only way you can measure yourself in this game, especially in today's world. Like, AAU teams got guys from all over the states now. A Jersey team could have a guy from California. You know what I mean? It's just different type of basketball now.
So with that being said, with the evolution of basketball that you see, what would you say to you know, some of the kids that were at the clinic, like, coming up?
Well, I mean, around here, I think the love for the basketball, or not even the love, the guidance for the basketball died down a little bit. I think right now it's picking up a lot because now you got guys training different guys all over the cities, you know what I mean? So I think the younger kids coming up are getting it better than the kids that's already in high school a little bit.
Yeah, you used to mention that too.
Right, because it wasn't enough, like, guys wanting to train for the kids that are in high school right now. But now everybody want to train, everybody, like, kind of territorial with their kids and stuff like that, but the kids are still getting the work in and still playing, you know, so they're getting Damn, what was the question?
We were talking about what to give to the kids.
Right. So, like, to give to the kid right now is to say, like, just keep working. Make sure you're always in the gym and make sure you make the right decisions. For me, making the right decision was, like, being able to always work on myself here, being around the right group of, like, players. You know what I mean? Like, my best friends, we was always in the gym together. So it was only a matter of time before we got seen by someone who really believed in us and put us on a scale to where we can compete and, like, get scholarships and go to school for free. You know what I mean? So our first thing was, like, trying to be the best kids in this area, right? And then the next decision we made was, like, who we played AAU with. Then the next decision we made was we kind of went to high school together. You know what I mean? Like, and we just kept growing together, and then we all ended up playing Division I basketball. But for a kid that kind of don't have, like, no guidance, no anything, I would just say stay in the gym and have conversations with people around here that may have been there before, because maybe they'll help you. Or not even a kid, just a parent.
Okay. Speaking on the decision to go to high school, TCA ended up winning the championship there. Let's talk about the TCA experience.
Was that the best team around here? Like, was that the best team around? But my situation was a little different. Like, in 8th grade, I was either going to go to a prep school or I was going to go to Trenton Catholic. My dad had a conversation with Coach Fouch, and it was like, if you don't go to any of these prep schools, he coming here no matter what. You know what I mean? And who I played AAU with, all my guys went to Trenton Catholic. So it didn't make sense for me to not be with them. Like, I wanted to be a kid too. You know what I mean? I still wanted to be at school with my friends. I didn't want to have to go off somewhere and be away from home. Mm-hmm. And plus, like, Coach Donnie and those guys, they opened a gym for us all the time. Like, that was so beneficial for our growth in high school that we had access. And I think that's the thing too. If we want basketball around here to get better, there has to be more gym access for the kids.
Oh my God. Say it again.
I really believe that. Like, I think there has to be more gym access, because if you open them up, they gonna come, they wanna be there. Now let's just say all the guys that are the trainers around here, we put them in different gyms with different access, and they could go work out here and then go work out there. Everybody getting better, you know, like, we gotta come together, you know what I mean? And I think here at the Martin House, they'll do it, but it just need to be more places. And don't be so secretive about it, you know what I mean? Like, let everybody else eat.
Oh my God, this sounds different coming from you.
That's how I feel like the basketball will be better. You know what I mean?
About
like,
it, man.
When we was kids, again, we had Coach Lamar, we had Coach Khalid, we had my dad. Yeah. We had all the coaches around, right? But they wasn't like, nah, he can't play with you. Nah, like, all of us was hanging out together, even off the court, you know? So everybody was getting better together. Everybody was competing together. But I think that's kind of where it should start. Like, there has to be more gym access, and I don't know the proper steps for that because I'm not around here, but if I was, I would try to make a difference in a way where kids know they could come to this gym after schools and we just train and get better.
Nobody knows around. It's more like a if you know, you know kind of thing.
Right.
So if someone deems you worthy of getting to know that information, then you would know. But if a kid doesn't really, let's say he is talented or he's not in tune with what's going on, or he just hasn't ran into any of the people that have that access, then he won't know. What he will have is the West Ward, which would be, whenever they open it up, maybe 3 to 6 some days. And he will have outside. And if the West Ward's not open, he don't have anything at the moment because this is like the atmosphere of the city right now. It's like, it's a if you know, you know kind of. And it's been like this even since when I was in high school. It's just like you got to just network.
Right.
And I think it should be easier. Like you said, it would be, like that vision you just right now is perfect. Like if you take all the trainers and you give them different gyms and give them different times, if the city could come up with a program like that.
Right. And I see Keisha, like, she trying to do a lot with the city in basketball. She's doing a lot with the parks, and you kind of need somebody like her, one who's a visionary, and two that wants to see the betterment of the kids, you know what I mean? And it's good that the city's behind her. And I think she's the right person to get it going. But we also know she got her personal life too, you know what I mean? So we got to be willing to help somebody like that, you know what I mean? Instead of just it's
throwing it all on her.
Right, exactly.
She is asking for help. She's always asking for help, and she asking for ideas and things of that sort. So you're absolutely right. Like, I just had a conversation with her.
It take one person, right? But if we, maybe everyone don't know, but if we hear Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 to 7, the word gonna get out. You get what I'm saying? Then somebody else should want to do it somewhere else. You know, the days that we don't do it, let's do it somewhere else. Let's just build the basketball world back up. And you doing that, you keeping the kids off the street. It's so easy right now for the younger kids, or even the kids that's in high school now. The music is influential. That's all they see. That's what they want to do. But they want to make TikToks. They want to be kids still. You know, they still want to play basketball. So I just think you got to give them a place of comfort, somewhere that they could go.
Thank you. Seriously, we needed to hear that. Back to TCA and the state champs experience.
That game on YouTube, by the way, if you ever want to watch it. That game on YouTube.
Go back to those moments, you know, just even the moments leading up to it.
It started our freshman year. Like every summer, our workout schedule was here, weights, and basketball. Weights, basketball in the morning. Like, we was just that dedicated. It wasn't mandatory. You didn't have to show up. But like I said before, like, you let your team down if you don't show up, you know? Like, you in and out of workouts that mess up your chemistry, like, mess up how y'all act as friends a little bit. But that's how it started our freshman year. Boom, pushing each other. And every year we would lose to either like St. Pat's or St. Anthony's in the state game. And like we knew like every year we got to come back harder and harder and harder. So coming into our senior year, after our junior year, I started going crazy, like with leadership and making sure we in the gym, making sure we getting like way better. You know what I mean? It's our last time. Let's do it together. So all summer long, we working. All season, like even little things, like I'm taking the guys out to eat. We going to the movies. We just doing things to like make our team better. You get what I'm saying? And that helped a long way. State championship, okay, for example, we go eat. All the guys come out, state championship game. 2 of our main guys foul out at the end. The next 2 are up, and they perform just as well. But all that start from in the beginning of the season. You get what I'm saying? So we ended up getting to our senior year, played St. Anthony's 3 overtimes. It may be one of the best games in that gym. 3 overtimes, and we ended up winning. And that was like the ultimate achievement of like my basketball life career, because I had to work 3 years to get that. You know what I mean? So that like kind of, it made me feel good as a player and as a person, for real.
Go back to that legendary 3 overtime game.
Crazy.
With some key moments that you remember.
One, they showed up late to the game. They wasn't there on time. The game started maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours late. They was beating us at first, going into halftime. It's like, damn, we here again. We down 11. They about to take the lead. You know what I mean? But we older now. We more experienced. Those guys are our age now. So we just started making a run. And the game is tied, back and forth, overtimes, back and forth. First overtime, I think I had a chance to win the game, and I missed it, blew it a little bit. Second overtime, game just went on, but the third one, man, I remember, I think it was Eli Carter, he missed the free throw, we get the rebound, it was like excitement. Everybody from the city ran on the court, didn't matter where they was from, Trent High, Hamilton or Ewan, everybody ran on the court, and we shared that together, you know what I mean? So I like that when you go away, everybody come together. I don't know how it is like that now, but I know like whoever was going and whoever was making it, the whole city started supporting him. You know what I mean? Who kept playing. Even to this day, like last year, I was watching Trenton Nj play on YouTube because they kept winning. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm always gonna be supportive of all the teams around here. Like, it don't matter what school you at.
You said something key earlier. You said you were the same age as the people now. You're speaking morely about playing varsity since young.
Yeah, I started varsity.
So saying that you were now the same age as them, that gave you that, confidence and that strength.
For sure, they the same age as me. You know what I mean? Like, I've been playing the year before. St. Anthony's had 7 Division I players that was going to college. You get what I'm saying? So it's like they not there no more. Now the guys my age are there, and I don't gotta compete against the teams that had these guys that was older than us. But it give you a different type of confidence. You know what I mean? He'll be the same age as me, but I've been going against people bigger than him my whole life.
Been playing up your whole life.
Right.
Get to high school playing up. So if you see the process right there, that's a beautiful, and it shows it doesn't happen by accident. So let's move to Drexel now.
Yeah.
Choosing Drexel.
Crazy. I think it came down because like I had a conversation with my dad before committing to schools. Like, I had a bunch of mid-major schools, mid-major, low-major schools. Never had too many high. Didn't want to post-grad and try to get bigger schools. It just wasn't the wave then. You get what I'm saying? Like, and plus, if they didn't want you then, if they wanted you the year next, he probably won't play. You know what I mean? But me and my dad had a conversation. He wanted to be able to watch me play in college, and that means a lot to me. You know what I mean? So, like, my last 3 choices were Drexel, Princeton, and Rider. Princeton, it was like, all right, that's cool. Brains and all that could go. I liked the coach there a lot. Rider, they offered me when I was 14. Going into my freshman year, they offered me. So I'm a loyal person, so I was just loyal with them, always talking to them, and I like the coaches there. And I've been going to their camps and stuff since I was a little kid. Drexel, like, the coach there was good. It was a little bit further away. It's an hour away from home. But the league it was in, the competition it was in, it was like, all right, so these are my 3. I had a conversation with the Rider coach because I think I was going to go to Rider, but I had a conversation with him. He kind of gave me an ultimatum, like, do it now or we got to move on. And, like, you could move on, like, you know what I mean? So for me to be able to do that at 18, now that I look back at it, that was the best decision I made. I ended up going to Drexel. Drexel also had a point guard that he was all conference and everything. So I would have had to sit a little bit. I wouldn't have started if I went to Drexel. But my freshman summer, we there working out, and he and another one of my teammates, they get into a armed robbery situation. And it just got tough for them since they ended up getting kicked out of school. And then I had to step up right away. That summer, we ended up going to Turkey overseas to play for our college tour. And since then, prepared me. My freshman year, though, I didn't really struggle. I just had to learn the game. I think I averaged 5 points my freshman year, but started every game. So that means I'm doing something right. You get what I'm saying? I didn't want to, I got to go somewhere else. I got to figure it out. But I figured it out there. Just worked harder my next year, and then I ended up having the best season I had my sophomore year. My sophomore year, we won, 29 games? And we beat a bunch of teams. We had a great year. Junior year, I also had my sophomore year, I made first team. My junior year, I made second team. But I think that was me getting laxed and having success. I was still working hard, but the mentality was just different. You know what I mean? It wasn't not a I made it mentality, but it was like a confident mentality instead of more like a super hungry. But then picked back up my senior year, made first team all conference my senior year, and that opened up doors for me. Before my senior year was over, I had agent options already. You know what I mean? I think I had 4 agent options already, which was perfect. This is what I worked for my whole life. I knew I wanted to play professionally, and that's it. So it was just all about making the right decision then.
All right, 2 things I want to touch on. The habit of transferring after a bad year these days.
Man, that's like, it's not killing the game, because the game going to keep going on regardless, but it's killing the kid. You know what I mean? Like, transferring when things don't go your way, it don't really teach you anything. Like, as a kid, you got to be able to say, no, I'm going to stick it out, grind, and get better. It's starting young. It's starting in high school. You know what I mean? So in high school, as a parent, you got to kind of just want your kid to get better and figure it out there. You know what I mean? Because what's going to happen at the next level when he wants to transfer somewhere and nobody wants him? So just because he's good around here, it's tough. But I can't tell no parent what to do with their kids. You know what I mean? They may know what's best for them, what it is. But I just think the whole transferring thing, when things don't go well, it just don't teach a kid how to stay with something and fight for it. Mm-hmm. And I think that hurts later down the road. In college now, it's a transfer portal, so you could transfer anytime you want. You know what I mean? But I was reading like a stat, something like how 600, let's just say 600 kids was transferring, and there's still 300 of them that don't have scholarships. You get what I'm saying? So it may not always be good on the other side. So just stick it out if you don't get what you want. Okay, if you're in a situation when it's really just bad, all right, I understand. But if it's because you didn't play a little bit, all right, just wait your turn. That's it. Work for your turn, for real. Work for your turn, like.
That's major, man. And it's definitely starting in high school. We have a lot of parents. It's a lot of moms, you know, that's in the basketball world that I don't want to just blame the moms, but, you know, women are more emotional, so when their kid isn't going through certain things,
right,
you know, they just, well, he can go here, he can go there, and it doesn't really play out until later on down the line where we see where it harms the ego and the actual, like, you know, work ethic of the kid until later on. So in the moment in high school, it seems like jumping around, it's not hurting you because you're a star, everybody wants you. But it's later on that, you know, you start to see that.
But even, like, college coaches know that too. I mean, especially if you're one of the better ones, you know, college coaches, it's kids in all over the country who go to different schools in high school, but they're asking, like, why? Like, why he doing that? And then once you start getting to the professional, like, if you're really talking NBA, they doing their homework and trying to figure out why you going to different schools in high school. Why isn't it working here? Why isn't it working there? What's going on? Like, they do their homework. People don't understand that. Like, those decisions, everybody thinks about those decisions. College coaches is like, why is it not working here? Why is it not working there? Why even in 3 high schools in 4 years? You get what I'm saying? But if you really want to talk NBA, they going to investigate. They're going to look into it deeply, like, what's really going on.
All right, so let's move a little forward to the overseas route instead of, you know, NBA, whether it been G League or even just, you know, working out with them. Let's talk a little bit about that decision making.
Playing overseas, I kind of knew, like, after my senior year, that was most likely going to be my route. I had a workout and I had mini camp with the Wizards and all that, but I already knew that I was going overseas by that time. I even knew that before I picked the agent, and that's why it's, like, real important. Like, when you get into, like, the whole agent thing, to do your homework, to ask your questions, right? So if I know I'm going to play overseas, I don't want to be with a big-time NBA agency who doesn't have the biggest clientele overseas. Do you get what I'm saying? Because then it's going to be hard for them to get me in a position where I need to be overseas because they're really focused on the NBA. And overseas, it's really about, like, the connections with teams and agents and everything. You'll learn too, like, it's a political side to the game. Agents run teams now, you know what I mean? That's why when you look at teams and you look at agencies, you'll see a bunch of players from the same agency on the team, or even the coach, or even the GM, you know what I mean? So, but that's like, It's like down there.
Yeah.
But I picked an agent that was good overseas, and he placed me in Germany, and that got me right. That got me in a good start for real. Like I wasn't on the highest team in Germany or the best team in Germany, but I was in the highest league on one of like the lower leagues in Germany. I mean, one of the lower teams in Germany, and I was able to like showcase myself. They want you to play the right way. They don't want you to play selfish, especially when you start playing on the bigger teams. And from there, like I just always played my way into more contracts.
All right. Let's talk about the longevity and how, you just said you played your way to longer contracts. How did you?
Just playing the right way and being a good person, for real. That's going to take you a long way in this game no matter what. Being professional, they call it being professional and playing the right way. And that's who I am as a player, for real. Like, I'm going to play hard every time. I'm going to play to win every time. I'm not going to be an asshole off the court or on the court. And that take you a long way.
Being a good teammate.
Being a great teammate, for real. Being like, if somebody was to say I was a bad teammate, they hate it, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, on the court and off the court, I'm gonna be a good teammate. Even when we're not playing together, I'm gonna still be checking up on them and seeing how they doing. But those things really, really matter. You know what I mean? Being a good teammate really matters to the chemistry of the team. But yeah, I played my way into every contract. Like, I've been still going up in my career. I'm year 9 right now, and I'm playing at one of the highest levels. So, like, and I'm not the best scorer. I'm not the best defender. I'm not the best player. I'm average in all those different things, combined with always wanting to win and being a good person. That's enough to get you jobs.
So let's talk about this year coming up.
Yeah, this is a big year for me. But it is, but it isn't. Like, I'm experienced now, so I don't put that much pressure on, like, I need to go kill this year so I could. I'm experienced now. Like, where I'm going to be is where I'm going to be, and that's it. I'm going to still play the same way. I'm going to still play to win, and that's it. But it's a good year for me because I'm playing in the French League, and I'm also playing Euro Cup. So in Europe, you can play in your league, in your country, but then during the week, you fly to different countries and play against the best teams in those countries. So you'll fly to Spain, you'll fly to Italy, you'll fly to Germany, you'll fly to France. If you're not in France, you'll fly to Russia, or you know what I mean? You fly to all these countries and play the best teams there. So that's when like the prestigious part of overseas basketball comes out. So to be playing in both like that right now, that's a good thing for me.
I think you paved the way for the overseas route, man.
I did. A lot of kids don't know about the overseas route, and they think it's like easy, like, but it starts before you even get there. You know, like now I feel like my name overseas is like, all right, we know what type of player he is. We know who this player is. We got to prepare for him. But it took me years to get there. You know what I mean? It took me a lot of losses. It took me a lot of growing pains. It's not easy to live overseas by yourself. You know what I mean? So I really had to. It's a grind, for real. It really is. Like now, like overseas, they pay for your experience. How experienced you are in the game, you know, they pay for that. Like how many years you've been in, what you know, if you're a smart player. Like over here, it's more about athleticism, being fast. You know what I mean? Like that's it. Like a lot of, like, you don't gotta have too much of a high IQ to
athleticism and speed won't save you necessarily as much over there?
Yeah, I would say it's not. I'm not saying it's not athletic or quick, but I'm just saying it's just really different compared to here. Here they'll draft you off of being able to jump real high, you know what I mean? But over there it don't really mean nothing if you can't think the game.
When you say think the game, you mean like reacting in a lot of different situations, reading ball screens?
For me, it's reading ball screens, making plays for everybody else, being able to make plays for yourself, being able to control an entire game. It's really like chess, you know what I mean? Like it's really like chess. I think here is definitely checkers. I score, you score, I score, you score.
How's the defense over there?
Defense, it's harder to score there because there's no defense in 3 seconds. So you can put the big guy right in the middle of the lane, you know what I mean? But the game is different because now they got 5 men that are shooting threes. You know what I mean? So it's just.
So if he sits his center in the center of the key,
and the 3 guy and the 5 man can shoot, then
that's how you beat
play
them.
chess, exactly. It's all about reads. For me, it's all about reads, making the right plays.
How do you teach that?
Experience.
High school.
Experience. I've always been at the point guard position like my whole life. No matter how big or small I was, I've always been at the point guard position. I watch the game so much now. I'm always watching basketball games. Like tonight, I can't wait to watch the TBT championship. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm always watching basketball, learning, asking a lot of questions.
Is there people that kind of like treat you the same way, like they hate on you or misunderstand you?
I don't know. I don't think anybody ever really hated on me. If you hated on me, you kind of got like a personal problem with yourself. You know? I've always showed love to everybody, even if I didn't want to. You know, I go out my way to show love. So I never really kind of had that. Maybe in the basketball world a little bit, but not from people back at home.
So you never had like personal motivation to like prove anybody wrong?
Yeah, I've always had the underdog tag on me, you know, but it wasn't with anybody around here. It was more like against the kids up north, you know, against the kids in my class. That's it. Like, why do they get them looks that I'm not getting, and like I'm always winning, you get what I'm saying? So that's always kind of been the motivation. But now at this point, it's kind of me, I'm my own motivation a little bit. You know, like having a daughter is a motivation, you know, like making my dad happy is a motivation. Being able to still play is the motivation. Still climbing levels, going higher and higher. Not really no person particularly.
I think we got to a lot of everything now. Now let's talk to the city again, talk to the coaches, man, and, you know, how we can kind of fix things. We talked about it a little bit, but yeah.
I think everybody, they heart in the right way. It's just that how you put it all together. Everybody, they're not doing it wrong. Everybody's just passionate about what they do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like everybody kind of know everything. But sometimes it's okay to, I don't know this, what you think we should do with this? Or, hey, I got a kid, like you think you could get him in today or something like that. But I do like that there are more guys that are involved. Even with the clinic here, yeah. Like it means a lot to me to see that not just basketball guys, but it's parents there too, it's people who train. Everyone is coming together. Everyone came together to for the better of the kids. And for me, that feels good. Like, one is like a group of black men coming together, you know what I mean? Like, no egos, mm-hmm. Everybody supporting each other, and that's what I like.
How was the clinic experience and putting the kids through drills?
Yeah. It was good for me. Like, it's like getting the kids involved, and I start getting involved, and I'm trying to teach them things that I go through a little bit just to show them, you know what I mean? Trying to teach them how serious you have to take every rep, every drill. And I think the kids, like, they enjoyed it, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they had a good
definitely,
time. And that's it too, like the love for the game, you know. We loved the game so much when I was a kid because it was always there for us. We would go play CYO, then we would go play Calwater Park, then we would go play Westward. We'd have like 2-3 games on a day, you know what I mean? Like, that's not even with like playing outside, you know what I mean? So I just think it has to be more available in the city, and I think it's not really that has to do with the city. It don't got nothing to do with the parents. Don't be territorial with your kids, man. Make sure they get all the work they can. Make sure they're having a good time. Make sure they love playing the game. That's it. If they love playing the game and happy, and don't let them be cool, just tell them, always keep them humble. That's going to be a lot for them. I think that's going to be a lot for them.
So you think kids should experience a collective of coaches instead of being brought under one or two?
I don't see nothing wrong with it, right? I just don't. If there's nothing going on this week and my team's not playing, then he could go play with whoever he need to play with. You know what I mean? Especially from the city standpoint. I mean, we all stayed together on the same one AAU team. We didn't leave, but we was the best kids in the area. It wasn't one best kid on this team, one best kid on this team, one best kid on this team. Like, we was the best kids in the area, and we stayed on this one team and grew together. A lot of teams, I don't even know how it worked, but I feel like a lot of teams, a lot of kids, they don't stay together and grow together to be like the best kids around. But that's not the kid's fault. Like, that may be a parent, that may be a coach or whatever, but is it better for them to stay on one team? As long as the kid is playing basketball and getting better and love the game, that's what I'm for. I'm not for, like, he has to be here with this person, he has to be there with that person. Like, that's not what I would do with my kid.
Some people speak often about this vision of this one AAU team and bringing all the best kids together. Like you said, you played on a team where you felt like y'all had all the best kids. Right now, it's like a best kid to each team type of thing. Or how would that work, and how could we bring that vision together? Like, would we need an A team, B team, C team? Like, and are we overthinking it? Who coaches? Like, is it doable?
From my group, we was just always playing together since we was 10 years old. You know what I mean? So by the time we got to the scholarship age, it looked like we was the best kids because we've been playing together and our chemistry was crazy and we was just being everyone around here. Mm-hmm. That's just how we kind of grew it up. But I do think it should be one team, right? Why not, right? One, financially it makes sense. AAU is expensive. It's really expensive, but financially I think it makes sense. And two, it's not wrong being an assistant coach. You know what I mean? As long as you imagine if you have one team here and you got different age groups, and not just having one team, one age group, and that's it. But if you got a whole machine going, and we got one of the coaches coaching the 13s, the 12-year-olds, the 11-year-olds, like, we all doing the same thing. You get what I'm saying? So other teams are still going in the AAU world because they come up with this concept. You don't see them fighting over who coaches who and who does that. I mean, you could all coach together. You could all come together. We all smarter together anyway. I don't got all the answers, and I would be an assistant coach to someone around here. So that's it. Like, it ain't that difficult.
I'm glad to hear you, pushing the unity, and I think it would mean a lot to the city to hear this unity concept coming from you. Hopefully everyone hears this and, you know, we kind of come together. We already doing a good job, as you're saying.
It's funny because, you know, I see it all. I'll be on the internet watching everybody talk. They talk on Facebook. I'll be liking it. Like, I don't really say nothing. I sit back and just laugh sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, because it's just funny to see, but don't make it too difficult that it's not about you. It's about the kid. You know what I mean? It's not about you at all. It's not about, oh, I did this, I did that. It's about giving the kids like an experience. And a lot of times you saving the kid life for real. Right? If he's not playing basketball, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. He running around outside, doing something he probably shouldn't be doing.
And that was always like my issue with with some people was writing some kids off that don't have nothing else. Like right. I mean, nobody's to say like they're forced to play at that level, but I mean, just at least like don't tell them to stop playing.
Right. Like, how you tell a kid don't play?
You're not gonna make it.
Like what age is he for you to be telling him? How you tell a 13-year-old, yo,
writing them off, you know? And like,
bro, that's it's life though. You know what I mean? Life is so much bigger and so much more long. Like, okay, maybe he's not good at 13. Mm-hmm. Maybe he just get in the gym and just work his ass off. And at 15, he good. Now you want him back? You know what I mean? Don't do that to no kid, man. Like, always be there and try to guide him, even if he's not one of the better ones. All right, send him to somebody who could spend some time with him. Mm-hmm. Maybe he never will play college ball ever, but he love the game enough to just work at something, and it keeps him safe. And, right? So don't never do that. Like, if you don't want to deal with the kid, you just don't deal with it. But how about you, instead of writing him off, just send him to someone who may be able to work with him a little bit more than you could. And boom, now the person you sent him to, y'all got a connection. And now he getting kids better. So it's a mindset. It's a mindset.
That's where that unity comes in. All right, so one last message to the youth, man. Here with Frantz.
To anybody around here.
To everybody.
Again, I don't got all the answers, but I experienced a lot. Playing basketball around here, coming up through it all, not really having someone like to give me the blueprint. You know, I just had the people I was around and we figured it out together. But doing it that way, I learned a lot. So, like, never be hesitant to ask me questions. Kids, never be hesitant to ask me questions. Parents, never be hesitant to reach out or something. Like, I ain't no Hollywood. I'm here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here to like help for real. I love our city that much to be able to give back that way, especially from a distance of where I'm at. But I think all together, if we do it together, it would not only benefit the city, it would benefit each kid around here. I'm all for kids being in the gym and kids being outside on the streets. So I think us together, us giving the knowledge together, the experience together, it's going to take everybody places that they haven't been before and teach them and let them see new things that they never saw before. So again, like, I got about 5 more years left in the career and I'll be around, but never shy away from either asking me a question or that's just what I'm here for. That's the way I could get back while I'm away. To all the kids, keep working hard. I try my best to watch y'all. I try my best to keep up with y'all from the best one to not the best one. And just know you can reach out to me too. But as a final word, I just want to say, there it is. Thank y'all. Thank you, for real, because what you're doing, it mean a lot, not only to me, but to the city. Everybody should be tapping in, for sure. Who else is doing it? But you actually, in both sides, you in the trenches, and you also out here too. So we happy for what you do. We want to give you your flowers for what you're doing, because it's not easy. If it was easy, we'll have a bunch of people doing it. It also, you take a lot of your time. You got to go to work in a couple minutes. You know what I mean? You make sure you get things done, and you becoming more professional, and you growing. So instead of, again, writing you off and talking bad about you, we should always be thankful for what you're doing. because that camera is very powerful. You know what I mean? You put out the right images to help, to benefit. So that's it, bro. That's all the words I got.
I appreciate you, man.